This is a fun little, oh, I'd call it a small hosta. It's called Chartreuse Wiggles. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you can see it's got kind of a wavy edge. And it's real pretty, especially when you get a bunch of them growing like this, all in the same spot. But as a large mass or using the wave spacing or specimen spacing, they all look great. This is a plant we sell called Bright Lights, and depending upon the light it's in and the time of year, it goes from like a chartreuse to a gold. It's got a very thick leaf, slug resistant. It's a sport of Tocodama flavocincinalis. It's a nice rugged plant. If you come to our retail site, I'll tell people that my two favorite hostas right now are Rainforest Sunrise and this one, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is a sport of Seboldiana elegans, a real famous plant. It's been around for a long time. And what I like about it is it has a nice form. The gray-blue is just kind of different than other blues. And I just read in the American Hosta Journal that this is one of the hostas with the thickest leaves, meaning you should get good slug resistance. I like the gnarly textured types of hostas, and this one is just a little different, I think, than others. And of course the gold stripe down the center is real pretty. This one you might want to have as a specimen plant. Is just so beautiful and dramatic. I've got mine in a row here because sometimes we're kind of farmers here and not gardeners. This is an interesting hosta called Cutting Edge. You can see it's got a little bit of a glaucous bloom to it, or a slight wax. Kind of a wavy, long-shaped leaf, and it's cupped a little bit, so it's really pretty. If you put it in a pot, this has been out in too much sun, but you can see how hostas can really look beautiful in containers. Now, one thing I did wrong in selecting this pot, we did it pretty quick one day, is it's round, and so it's going to be hard to remove that plant if you want to bury it in the ground, say in the fall, to overwinter it. Then you're going to pull it out and put it back in the pot in the spring. So try and get a pot that has got a tapered side to it, but not curved like this. Moonstruck's a nice medial variegated hosta. It's a sport of dress blues, and you can use it for everything from borders to a specimen plant. It's a very beautiful plant. This is Stiletto. I've talked about it before. It's a beautiful plant. I'm using it here for a border along my path. If you put it next to my size 15 shoe, you can see, get some idea about the size. It's got a yellow trim, wavy edge, long and slender, and then this one grows stolen effortlessly, meaning the roots grow sideways instead of down, which will give you some erosion control. Olive Bailey Langdon's a real popular plant. It was suggested as a replacement for Francis Williams, which burns even if it's not in full sun. And it's a beautiful plant. And I want to show you one other thing. This kind of wimpy, wispy branch off of this Colorado blue spruce can really have an impact on your plants. You might not think it would, but it can change the color of your hostas. It can affect how fast it grows. So you want to be constantly evaluating how your trees and branches are affecting your garden. This is a hosta called Pilgrim. It's a small, dark green in the center, gold on the edge. It's getting a whole lot of deep shade here. This is a hosta called Revolution. It's a sport of loyalist, and it's a beautiful plant. I would say it's about a medium large. And one of the cool features about it, it's not just the the dark green and the white in the center, but there's green specks. I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not, but it's a cool plant. It's a rare trait for hostas. Till about 15 or 20 years ago, there were primarily 4 to 6 hostas around the country. This is one of them. It's called Undulata aromania. And I'll just read what comes out of our database. Medium green-blue, slightly shiny with slight marginal undulations. It's been documented that Undulata aromania, gold standard, blue angel, and serendipity grow well under wet, boggy conditions. Leaves are blue-green in color, nice lavender flowers. It's a nice plant. Here's another common plant you see all over the place. It's called lancifolia, and this is actually mislabeled, I'm embarrassed to say. It should be a small L. Anything that's a species plant should be started with a small letter. But you'll see this plant all over town. It's got a nice blue-purple bloom in August. And I'll read this to you. It's a green land-shaped leaf from dense, rapidly growing clump and arching tiered layers. One of the first hostas brought to Europe along with H. plantaginea, lancifolia, Siboldiana, ventricosa. You'll see it all over the place. This plant, I believe, grows stone effortlessly, so I would give you some erosion control. This is a nice hosta called Hadspin heron. I believe it's out of the same gardens as Hadspin blue. And it's really a nice blue plant. Nice and rugged, thick leaf. Slugs won't get it, or they shouldn't get it. This is a nice hosta. It's called brimcup. It's been around for a few years. I like the dome-shaped leaf. It's pretty cool the way it suspends its leaves, and then you get this dome on the end. Nice color, nice vein pattern. The plant behind it is fragrant blue, and I wouldn't buy it for the fragrance. It's really not that fragrant compared to most fragrant hostas, but it is from plantaginea like all other fragrant hostas. This hosta continues to send up new growth throughout the season. It's got a nice powdery blue leaf, kind of a smooth texture with veins, and it's a rapid grower. It's a very nice plant. Thick leaf for slug resistance. It's one of my favorite blues. This is Twist-a-Lime. It's a sport of lemon lime. It makes a nice, dense edger, if you're looking for that effect. It's two-toned. It's got kind of a chartreuse green with a dark edge. It's a very beautiful plant. Grows fast. Behind me is a plant called Geisha, and it has this beautiful leaf and a nice, a nice form when it grows. This is a hosta called Radiant Edger. As you can see, it's slightly cupped. It's got a interesting pattern in the center. It's darker green and then more of a chartreuse yellowy golden color on the outside. And it's very thick, so you get good slug resistance. Makes beautiful borders. In my mind, this is kind of a sleeper of a plant. I think it should be well known in the trade. This is another tree that I took out last year. It was a big green ash, and boy, it's really given my garden a boost. Over here is Pandora's Box, one of the top mini hostas. Popo, also a mini hosta that's not quite mature yet. Green Eyes, which is a beautiful little mini. Over here is Heart and Soul. And you can see I'm underneath another Colorado spruce. It's kind of rooty in here, and the soil isn't the best. So I really need to get more moisture and fertilizer on here than I'm giving them now.